Greetings, all. It's Max. I'm back. And today we're talking about CIA, FBI, DARPA infiltrating society. Weird as it may be, but that's what it is. Just so you know, I'm going at, lengths to even talk about this stuff. But, maybe someone will get something out of it. We have a video here from a guy named Asmongold, who basically, he's a multi-millionaire because he played World of Warcraft and streamed that online. Does anyone believe that? Does anyone believe that he's a multi-millionaire for playing World of Warcraft? That does not happen. It does not happen that people become multi-millionaires for playing video games. Does not happen. OnlyFans girls, yes, that happens. Playing video games. And World of Warcraft has not been relevant in 15 years. It's a dead game. It's dead. I don't know. And Asmon is a very smart guy, and he's moved on to new content. And apparently he's going to talk about flat Earth. So we'll do the flat Earth thing and listen to what he has to say about it.
How can you know how many continents there are?
Maybe
it's impossible.
Extends
how would you know?
all the way to infinity. So it's a flat Earth multiverse theory, basically.
Yeah.
Part of the reason people believe in this is just a lack
I love how this is the explanation for why the Earth is actually flat. As if if you did this with a frisbee and not a basketball, it would also look fucking stupid. So how?
Oh, of course, but you have to understand that there are people on the bottom of the globe. There are people down there on the bottom. How's that work?
How is it that this is the evidence
Gravity,
that you
baby.
have? We superglued some stick figures onto a basketball and spun it around?
Basic science education. Some of them think that if the Earth was a globe, then water just run off on the South Pole.
It would fall off down at the bottom.
I wonder.
No, water would rush out into the atmosphere. That's where it'd go. Water doesn't bend, by the way.
What?
Yep.
They also misunderstand how perspective
round earthers. To be fair, it's impressive that this is a phrase. It's a proper noun. Wow.
Works, how trigonometry works, how cameras work, and on it goes.
You cannot bring up technology and science to disprove flat Earth. You can't do that. Because they didn't get there with science. You think that somebody believes flat Earth because they know about science? No, they believe.
Everybody who believes flat Earth knows the science behind it. Every single person. 8 inches per mile squared. Everybody knows it. I can see across a 10-mile lake. I shouldn't be able to. Because of the shape of the Earth. I know how a gyroscope works.
Believe flat Earth because they don't know about science. That's the whole reason why they're thinking it. So you can't be like, oh, well, science says this. Well, if science says anything, then this person you wouldn't be having this conversation to begin with. You can't reason a person out of a position they didn't reason themselves into. And that's where flat Earth is at. This is not a reasoned position.
It's not just a matter of misunderstanding. If you believe that the Earth is flat, you also have to believe in a global conspiracy
That's right.
that's hiding the truth for no particular reason.
That's right.
For starters,
Like the Federal Reserve,
you must believe
the
that
IMF.
most of physics is wrong,
It's fake.
and physicists are just
Fake.
making.
Yeah, the IMF totally doesn't exist. The Federal Reserve totally doesn't exist. It's all fake. It's all fake. Those trails you see in the sky, it's all fake. It's a fake.
Things up.
It's fake.
We're all part of a big conspiracy. Geophysicists, they're also in on it.
Fake.
Astrophysicists, all
Well, yeah, it's fake. Obviously, because like science was a mistake to put it in the eyes of the average person. Like an average human being is supposed to eat potatoes raw and die at 32 from a toothache. Like we were never.
Okay. So this little MFer says that everybody is supposed to die at 32. This guy has done nothing but play World of Warcraft and video games, nothing for his entire life. Oh, but he works for the IRS too. How do you get a job at the IRS when you have no qualifications? You barely graduate high school. How do you do that? How's that happen? And everybody is stupid. Now, granted, Mr. Asmongold here has 150 IQ. But to call people stupid, to question things, it sounds, little alarm bells there, and says, I think you were paid to make this video. I think you're paid.
Supposed to get this. This was never supposed to happen. This was never fucking supposed to happen. And we're having problems.
Yes, everyone who's ever been involved in launching a rocket into space or putting a satellite into orbit is part of that conspiracy too. Moon landings didn't happen. The ISS not in orbit.
My dad, who was born in 1930, said the moon landing was fake. Come on.
Every single photo that's ever been taken of Earth from space,
Photoshop.
Fake. Sounds pretty crazy, doesn't it? But then
it doesn't sound crazy if you're stupid.
Oh,
and that's what these people don't understand.
Yeah,
is that if you understand people, you understand flat Earth. People are just stupid.
Yeah, you're just
that simple.
You're just stupid.
Why did somebody do something? Because they're stupid. That's the reason. That's the only reason.
People also believe.
Hey, dude, I have 130 IQ. I can prove it on all 20 freaking exams I've freaking done. I'm 130 IQ. And I know what 8 inches per mile squared means. And I have a lot of lakes. And I know that water doesn't bend. And I can look across a 10-mile lake and I can see the shore on the other side. And I'm like, I shouldn't be able to see that. But I can with my naked eye. Now, you want to take my P900 camera in there, then we really have something to where I can see like 100 miles away. But I'm a moron.
That an omniscient being keeps track of who they have sex with. A recent representative poll in North America found that 5% think the Earth is flat and another 6%.
Well, here's the thing, though, with Jesus, right? It's so like Jesus was like the son of God, and like his mom was like impregnated by God, but she had a husband too, but like it's not his kid. And like then they crucified him, and then he comes back and he's like, I'm actually Jesus, and like all this shit happens, right? But this is like such a long time ago. Like you can't just go back and be like, yo, by the way, it didn't happen. Right? Because like it's hard to disprove that. You can't debunk that as easy as you can with something with flat Earth. I mean, bro, people were figuring out the Earth was round,
bro.
Probably before we even had wheels,
bro. So disprove it. Disprove the Earth being flat. Just do it. I mean, it's got to be easy.
I don't know about it. Was ancient Greece. People fucking knew this. So it's like the difference is like you can believe in Jesus because you can't immediately disprove Jesus. You can't disprove Jesus immediately by experimentation and testing and multiple levels of references and proof, right? Like, what's the evidence that Jesus was the Son of God? Well, I mean, there it is. That's the reason. Evidence is you read the Bible, right? But there's not like, for example, you can't talk about physics to explain that. You can't go and measure shadows to explain that. Like, you can't.
It's funny. You want to bring up physics. Who created physics and the laws of everything that we have? That would be God. God created that. So if God says Jesus is his son and Jesus is one with me, then there you go. Done. And it says that Jesus created everything on earth in the Bible. Whatever you want to do. Many different takes. A lot of people take different things, but the point being is that you do not have rules of engagement. You don't have rules of how the world works without God, period.
Immediately go and prove that Jesus was the Son of God without using self-referential logic, right? Where it's like he is because he says he is, or circular logic, excuse me. And the Bible says he is, and it's why does the Bible say that? Because he is, right? But with the flat earth, it's so much worse than a religion because you can easily disprove it. You can disprove it in seconds.
But I can disprove it in seconds. Guess what? He has no counter argument. Imagine that. This man is going to hell. He works for the federal government. He is a CIA agent. He is a shit stain. He is one of the worst people on the planet that is just manipulating young kids. And he's 35 now. And he's got to be dyeing his beard and his hair and everything to make it look like he's still a young, cool gamer or something like that. No, he's 35. He's going to have gray hair and everything like that. No, it's a perfectly groomed shit. And he's still living, he still has his set. And I talked about this before. He still has his set. He pretends to live in his mom's attic like he was like 18 or 19 or something like that. He pretends to live in his parents' attic. It's a freaking set. The set has been set up for 15 years. And that's what the kid does. He works for the government. It's a set. They ain't his house. They ain't his house. He even said the other day, oh, well, I have to go meet my dad at his house. Well, doesn't your dad live at the house that you're living in right now? Because that was your mom and dad's house? Oh, I have to go. It's 8:31. My dad's going to be mad that I'm not meeting him at his house. Where's your dad getting another house from? Huh? You mean to tell me you're a multimillionaire? You're still living in like a 2 or 3 bedroom place with your parents?
They believe it anyway.
aren't quite sure. I'm not quite sure how many people lie in these polls, but there's no doubt that interest in flat Earth ideas has spiked in the past decade, as you can see in the Google search trends.
It's going to keep getting worse, by the way.
In 2009, the International Flat Earth Society set up a website. In 2013, part of its members set up a wiki and discussion forum. Around 2015, the topic started to appear on YouTube and spread from here. In 2017, the first Flat Earth conference took place, which attracted a lot of media attention.
I want to make one thing clear, though, is that I bet the majority of this traffic are people talking about it being stupid. Right. So we're thinking about, for example, the Flat Earth Conference where, Andrew from like Channel 5 was like interviewing people. Right. So it's like this goes up. Like, for example, like I bet Hitler goes up around in April. Right. Like searches for Hitler go up. Why is that? Because that's the year, or sorry, the month he was born in. Right. And so like searches for a lot of things are going to go up, not necessarily because more people support them, but just simply because more people are talking about them or looking at them. Like a conversation about something does not necessarily mean that this is support of it. So I want to make sure that you cannot control for
It's total fucking gaslighting. This little bitch, this little CIA, FBI guy who's just running around on taxpayer dollars. I'm going to play Warcraft and pretend I'm a gamer. And I'm going to talk to the young guys. He's 35 years old, dude. I mean, like, come on, man. Just stop it. You look at the freaking, who cares about the peaks? You look at like where people figure out like, holy shit, we're being lied to? We're being lied to all this time? Really? Look at this. As soon as the stuff came out that like, the P900 camera came out. Boom. Look at that. Who cares about the peaks and valleys up here? Look at this from flatlining to going up there. But we're all retarded, man. We're all retarded. We're all just retarded. That's what this motherfucker said. That's what he said. He said, everybody who believes in flat Earth is retarded. That's what he said. Look at this crap.
Of an evaluation of a graph like this.
YouTube made big changes to its recommendation algorithm, and interest tapered somewhat off after that. But rather than just fading away, in recent years, interest in flat Earth has been on the rise again.
Because
it is, and the reason why is because a lot of people that believe in conspiracies, it's like trying to take a toy away from a dog. If a dog's like biting a toy, you can't take the conspiracy away from them. You have to wait for them to let go of it on their own. And the more that you try to take it away from them, the more people will believe it. I think obviously flat Earth is a good example, but another one is COVID. One of the reasons why people are so distrusting of the media and of the government is because they weren't able to criticize the ways that COVID was being approached, right? You were not able to challenge the narrative of COVID on public platforms.
So what he's saying is people are mad they got fucked in the ass by misinformation by big corporations, and they're kind of pissed. However, like, wow. However could people be pissed off about that? That's amazing. What? Oh, yeah. I gave my kid heart disease when he's 13. He goes to a freaking soccer game and falls over and collapses dead because he got a COVID shot. You don't think that's going to piss people off? You don't think that's going to piss people off? And the science, he told me that it would take him 2 seconds to debunk flat Earth. Okay. Where is his 2 seconds? If it's that easy, why didn't you do it? You know, I can do it in 1 second. I can call it a gyroscope. Done. End of story. I prove flat Earth. Gyroscope. Done. I'm done. Gyroscope proves flat Earth. Period.
Platforms, right? It's like it was considered misinformation and you were banned. So a lot of people believe, and I know this is true even in Twitch chat, how many people have you heard, well, they banned me. Why'd they ban you? For telling the truth. You know, it's like the, I think it was Voltaire who said that, you know, if you want to find out, you know, who rules over you, and figure out who you can.
This literal mother fricker clucker. I'm going to say clucker as much as I can. Kind of get a potty mouth, but I'll try and say clucker. This clucker literally is supposed to, because Warcraft is a dead game that nobody plays and nobody cares about anymore. And that's where he is known from, being basically a World of Warcraft player. He's starting to comment on videos and he just plays other people's videos and comments on them. That's all he does. That's it. That's all he does. Like, dude, if you don't have a unique thought in your head, get the hell off the internet. But he's not, because he's federally funded. I guarantee you he's federally funded. Probably not through USAID. Probably funded through DARPA, because he's controlling young minds about how everybody who doesn't believe like him is somehow inferior or somehow stupid. And now I can say, I know I'm 130 IQ. He's probably 150. But I also know that he says, and he's on record saying that, how can I take money from other people so I don't have to work? That's his. I have the clip. It was just up a week ago. How can I take money from other people so I don't have to work? That's him. All right. That's his mindset. And he looks at everybody else as being dumb ass MFers, because I can just sit around and play Warcraft all day and make all kinds of money. Well, didn't your dad and the IRS help you with the government contacts and stuff like that? You know, do people actually have that kind of opportunity? Have you actually gone out and actually, you know, this video is particularly about flat Earth. Have you actually gone out there and done that? Have you done any research? Have you even Googled it? No. Oh, I make $10,000 a day, bro. The fucking FBI just pays me.
Can't criticize. And I think that that's another good example of this, right? Is like, people generally believe that if they're being censored, it means they're right.
Probably to no small part because of TikTok, which has now become a haven for flat earthers. Right. Scientists don't take flat earthers seriously, and I can see
That's a Granite quote. Oh, no, I think the quote is stupid too. But, you know, like, you're not supposed to make fun of kids with cancer, right? Are they ruling the world? No. But like, I'm just saying, as in a general thing, this is the way that people think.
What about if a kid with cancer
coming from flat Earth? But I think it's
that make your head explode. Kid with Down syndrome believed in flat Earth.
Mistake. To me, flat earthers are the first symptom of.
I don't give a shit what people believe, by the way. I really don't.
To me, flat earthers are the first symptom.
I'm just here to, you know.
Can you believe somebody? You know where they learn about science? Looney Tunes, man. They're watching the Looney Tunes and they're like, damn, I think I know how the Earth happened. I think I know where the dinosaurs went.
And like the people who are teaching you in grade school or whatever know what happened. They don't. And some people call BS on that. I called BS on it a lot, but I was fortunate enough to go to a very good high school where I was allowed to have my opinion. And yeah, I was also fortunate enough to go to a very good Bible school where I was fortunate enough to have my opinion about what I thought about things. But that's not the case with modern day stuff.
Oh my God.
But I think it's a mistake.
What?
To me, flat earthers are the first symptom of a much bigger problem. They show us what happens when people realize they can't understand modern science, don't trust scientists, and therefore throw out even the most basic scientific knowledge on the rationale of skepticism. Flat earthers are somewhat extreme.
I would not say the rationale of skepticism, because rationale is derivative of rational. I would say they just don't believe it.
They're actually throwing out evidence that they could test themselves if they weren't so bad at science. But the underlying...
If they weren't so bad at science, you notice how there's no proofs in anything that the woman is saying. Nothing. Fine. I mean, they're presenting a narrative. My thing is Asmongold, who's a 35-year-old twat, who's just sucking off the tit of the government. He's a CIA, FBI, DARPA dude. And that's it. His goal was to manipulate everybody's thought. That's all it is. That's all he does. You know, I like him for his video game content, but like when he gets into anything outside of video games, it's like, oh, there's the CIA right there. That's what they want me to believe. And I don't care if you believe in flat earth. I really don't. Flat earth in this discussion makes absolutely no difference. It's about not condensation. It's the condemn of people who happen to believe different than you. The condemnation. There we go. I finally figured out the word. The condemnation. And anybody who doesn't believe in a round earth is stupid. And there has been no proofs. There's been no nothing that showed up that said that the earth is round. Nothing. Oh, the ancient Greeks put sticks in the ground and therefore the earth is round. Well, works in a flat earth too. But I'm stupid because I don't believe like Asmongold, and Asmongold has 3.5 million subscribers. And he's an FBI, CIA, DARPA, whatever. Cunt. Now, who am I going to believe? Am I going to believe my own eyes, my own mathematics, my own stuff, my own observations? You can't test anything and you can't prove anything, as the good woman said there. You can't test and you can't prove. Well, I did test and I did prove it. 8 inches per mile square, bitch. I live in a land of 10,000 lakes. And if I can see across the 10-mile lake and I can see the shore on the other side and I can watch people going into the beach from 10 miles away, and I'm 5'7", that means there's a problem with your math. There's a problem. It means the earth is flat. And hey, if the way that you create like glass and you create flat surfaces is by putting water in a pool and then putting your molten stuff on top of it to make sure that it's flat, why isn't it curved? Why isn't water bent? Why is water always flat? Why do we have water as a level? Why do we call it sea level? Why do we call it in an airplane at altitude? Autopilot, leveling out. What is leveling out? There is no such thing as leveling out at all. There can't be, because you're going around a ball. There is no such thing as leveling out. Ever. Ever. You can't level out. You got to ride around the curve. You got to ride around the curve, baby. Hey, but I'm a moron.
Problem is much deeper, because in most of modern science, the average person can't test evidence for themselves. This is why.
But the funny thing about that is, in fact, I forgot who the fuck it was, but it was some Greek with a name that's long, that's weird, like it was not Aristotle, but it was something that sounded like that. He just set up some sticks and he figured it out. Archimedes? No, it wasn't. Aristophanes? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, A or E. Yeah, exactly. So he just set up some sticks and he figured this out. So the funny thing about this is that this is actually one of the only ones that people probably could figure out. Yeah, but they just don't.
I think it makes sense to identify the origin of this problem. And some scientists have actually studied this. They found that the scientific literacy of flat earthers tends to be well below population average. And at the
wait, are you telling me that flat earthers on average are not they don't know what science is? No. Bro, like say it ain't true.
They're saying there's a very small population.
Oh my God.
Of flat earthers.
Same time, they're much more confident of their scientific knowledge than the average person. On top of this, we then get echo chambers in social media that reinforce their misjudgment. The trouble is that these two issues, lack of knowledge and an inability to recognize this lack of knowledge, are bound to become increasingly widespread, simply because, unfortunately, scientific knowledge isn't heritable. We're born without knowing anything of modern.
I don't want to be a dick, but like, the lady has not proved her point at all. It's just, this is anti, and this is that, and their anti points are, there isn't anything there. So what am I, there's nothing for me to even rebuttal. And I'm not a flat earth, like, what do you call it, magician, or what do they call them people, evangelists. I'm not a flat earth evangelist or anything like that. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what you believe. But it's very, 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 very important to them to make sure you believe the earth is a ball. It's super, 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 super important. And it's very super, 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 super important that they spray the skies with bullshit. The entire world since 1947. Super, super, super important. We have to spray the world with bullshit. Never mind, we don't need bees. We don't need worms. We don't need all the bugs. We don't need any of that. And you spray shit. Spray it. Just spray it. You can't carry on your luggage anymore on your airplane because we have to spray. You can't carry luggage. Oh, you're carrying on your backpack? That's an extra $20, sir. We have to spray aluminum, barium, and strontium into the skies to kill you. Or you can give me $20, you can put my backpack on there. All right, well, we'll try again.
In science, we have to learn everything. And the more sophisticated science becomes, the more learning that requires.
No, you don't need to know a lot about science to understand that the earth is round. I mean, you really don't. I mean, I understand what she's saying. She's saying that, like, the compounding expectations of, intelligence, you really don't need to know a lot of this shit.
Really?
You don't really need to know any, like, you don't need to know the periodic table. You don't need to know any of it.
He's moving on to periodic table. You don't need to know the Earth is round or flat. Do you feel like you're spinning? Do you feel like you're spinning? No. How does a gyroscope work on a round planet? It does not work. And he immediately goes to something else that has nothing to do with the topic at all. You are stupid if you even question the Earth being a ball or flat. You're stupid. Because there's science and stuff out there. No, this guy is a DARPA agent. Very high IQ. But he's DARPA. And that's where he gets his money. He's a multi-quad-bajillionaire. And you're going to tell me that he made that money playing Warcraft? No. No. You're going to tell me his beard is not gray at 35? No. It's a lie. It's all fake. Everything he says is fake. It's all bullshit.
This, like, I mean, now it's not that it wouldn't be useful at all in any circumstance. It's just that in an average person's life, it's not really going to come into relevance in terms of a functional way. And here's the reason. Here's really the reason, right? Is that you will not remember information that you don't use. So unless somebody is using this information regularly, they're not going to remember it. They're just going to forget. Like, how many of you guys probably fucking you go to school and you forget your locker code over summer break or over Christmas break, something like that. Yeah, for sure. You forget shit that you don't use. I mean, yeah, but it's basic as fuck. People don't know the periodic table. I bet probably less than 1% of people could name more than 20 elements on it.
You're a liar. Everybody can name 20 elements.
A periodic table. Less than 1% of adults in America could name more than 30 elements on a periodic table.
Time in the middle of the 20th century or so, we reached a point where modern science...
See, y'all don't know how retarded people are. Like, see, you never been... Oh, man, you guys got no idea. You got no idea.
Just stopped.
The disgusting narcissists. You people are too stupid. And this is... I'm an old man now, but in my early 20s, when I started doing YouTube, well, late 20s, mid 20s, I was having conversations with people who actually did the research and were actually like radiometric dating people and stuff like that. And nobody could actually defeat any of my arguments at all. So I know I'm right. And it's not like I just have hubris or I'm narcissistic. It's I've been to the battlefield. I've been there and I've done it. And this shit, it's literal horse shit. There is no battlefield here. It's just gaslight. Let's just gaslight. Because he's a CIA operative and it's a CIA DARPA run institution. And we'll see what happens when they run out of their US aid funding, because this video is like 9 months old or something. Now I have no US aid. And, it's probably not going to affect Asmongold because he gets DARPA money. And they haven't defunded DARPA yet. But US aid is gone. It's completely gone. So you got Asmongold is going to try to figure out, how do I change a tire so I can work at the tire place? Now, he's a multimillionaire. Has never actually do that, but it would be pretty funny. I don't think that he spent all his money, but the idea that he's been talking about, I live in my mom's attic since he was 16 and he's a multimillionaire is fucking retarded. It's fucking retarded. It's like, immediately I'm like, you're full of shit. You might drive an old car. You might drive an old car, and you might, take care of your money and be kind of conservative. But there ain't no way in hell you're living in your mommy's attic. But every video you see of him, he's in his mommy's attic. So this dude lives in a mansion and rebuilt his mommy's attic and put all of his garbage up there to make it look like he was still 15. He's such a con man. It's amazing. And he is super high IQ. But I couldn't believe he also admitted that, as I said before, his goal in life was to steal money from other people. And that was his goal. How can I get money from other people and not have to work? That was his goal. Dude, you don't have to take my word for it. I can clip the video. People who say that he never said that, I'll clip it and send it back to you. My goal in life is to steal other people's money. That's what he said.
Being comprehensible to anyone without a special degree, and this is still the case. I don't really understand how CRISPR works. I've no idea what Teichmuller theory is. I don't know how phones work, and I yet have to figure out how to properly fertilize our lawn. There's just too much knowledge in the world to learn it all, and unfortunately, no one has yet developed a pill for quantum mechanics. But you don't actually need to learn any physics to see that the Earth isn't flat. Even leaving aside that it requires you to believe in this huge conspiracy, flat Earth ideas have a much bigger problem. It's that you can't do anything with them. You can't use them to do as much as predict.
You can do a lot of things with flat Earth theory. You can make everybody think that you're stupid. It's simple. Yeah, you can do a lot. And you can make YouTube content for people. I feel like, yeah, bro, like there's a lot you can do with it. Man. If you're really retarded, you can just master it. Yeah, Newton says this apple fell on me. It's got to be gravity. My work doesn't require me to be smart, but if it does, I can easily learn it. Yeah, people are not going to learn things that they don't want to use or they're not going to use. Most people, you think about it, right? How old is modern science? Like what, 500 years, something like that? Let's say 500 years. How old are people? People are like millions of years old, right? The current version, the current patch. I'd say it's like 4 million years, something like that.
Really?
And so 12,000. Yeah. Let's say it's 100,000 and 300K. Maybe I'm a bit off. Let's say 200K.
This fucking dipshit just said that humans have been around for 4 million years. And then he's saying, oh yeah, it was science. Science has proven everything. So his science in his head said that humans have been around for 4 million years. Huh.
So 200K, 500 years. Like, you think about how small of a fraction that is of the time. You're thinking about like fucking nobody like people's brains haven't evolved to be able to pick this stuff up. You can't imagine that people can understand stuff like this because everybody always acts like people are anything. People like to act like a person is more than a monkey, and it's a little bit more, but not that much more, right? And so you have plenty of people that behave.
There you have it. This motherfucker is 100% CIA, DARPA controlled to push evolution. And that's where his paycheck comes from. YouTube is the same thing. They're going to push their agenda. There's a lot more I could say about it, but I'm not going to.
Like gorillas. They act like gorillas all the time. So
Who acts like
they even
gorillas?
do the same thing with each other, right? They even act like
Who acts like gorillas?
They do this shit all the time. And so what's really the surprise?
Gorillas. Who acts like gorillas? Who acts like gorillas? You want to tell me who acts like gorillas? Huh? Well, you ain't gonna go there.
Really the problem with this, right? It's going to happen a lot. We're progressing as a species to our apex of decent soon. The earliest humanity barely had any written language, only 5,500 years ago. Yeah. How do you personally know it's round without someone telling you? Well, someone told me, and I like.
Yeah.
How do I know that it's round?
You're fucked. You're absolutely fucked there. Because how do you know that the Earth is round unless somebody told it to you? Can I play Warcraft now? How do you know it's round unless somebody told it to you? The guy totally fucked him.
Because everything and the way that it's been explained to me makes sense.
Okay. He literally said, somebody told me it was round, and I believed them. Somebody told me. He said somebody. He couldn't even name the person. Okay? He can't even name the person. I can name the person who led me on the path. I can name the people who were inspirational to me. This dude has like, somebody told me it was round. Somebody. Well, somebody. If he would have said Chris Smith at my junior high school, I would call up Chris Smith and say, where's your proof? He's a DARPA agent. He's FBI. He's CIA. He's deep state. It's what it is. They're not going to give any names for anybody. Anybody. He is just a fucking tool. He'll never say anything about anything. Yeah, I would call up Chris Smith and be like, yo, Chris Smith, you said that the Earth is round. I went, where do you get that information from? And he's going to say, well, somebody said in my high school. Again, back to somebody said something. Somebody said somebody. That doesn't sound like a very scientific thing when you just say somebody said something. It sounds like hearsay. Who am I, though? I'm a stupid retard. I'm a retard with 130 IQ retard.
That's the way. Yeah, you like, and also, by the way, if you took a flat earther up in a spaceship and you said, look down, there it is. You see, it's round. You're full of shit. He'd be like, bro, I want to get off this ride.
Yeah, they've already done that. And it's flat. Actually, the Nazis did it back in 1935 with the V2 rocket. It's flat.
Like, I know we're in like a Disney theme park right now. Like, I know we haven't left Earth. Like, you don't need to fool me. Like, I can see through this. You can show people. No. It would say, take me to their side. If you do, they just say it's fake. Because you can never prove somebody wrong who doesn't want to be wrong.
Sunset and sunrise, let alone tides or solar eclipses or the paths of planets. You can't calculate airplane routes.
See through this.
Okay. This lake is about 3 miles wide. You can see the other shore on the other side. You shouldn't be able to. It's proving flat Earth.
You can show people
and when solar eclipses will occur. Yeah. And those were not the people who believe that the Earth is flat.
It's like, yeah, people always act like, oh, the Mayans, like they had aliens helping them. Bro, how many of you guys you've had your internet go out for like 2 hours and you accomplish more in those 2 hours than you would accomplish in the next 6 months? because like you can't jerk off, like you can't do anything. You actually have to go do something, right? Like you immediately are productive.
Okay. So now we're getting into the understanding here of what the DARPA, FBI, CIA, or whatever, whoever is controlling Asmongold, is really about. It's about keeping people as passive as they can be and unproductive as they can be. Just keep them unproductive. And that's why power outages and shit like that are like a huge problem for the government. They're like, all of a sudden people are disconnected from all this brain drain, all this stuff. And they're going to start figuring stuff out. You keep plugged in though, man, you're going to be dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber and dumber. And they call it the information age, where you have information from, and you can do all this information. It's like, no, it's all bullshit. It's like, yeah, you have all the information at your fingertips, but it's all bullshit. Everything is a fucking lie. Everything is a lie. Now, unless you're looking up, I want to change the brake pads on my car. This is my car. And you go to YouTube and it shows you how to change the brake pads. Okay, that's true. If you want to look up mud flood, you want to look up anything having to do with history, anything. History is a lie. It's a lie. Everything about it. Everything. 100%. 100%. The only thing you know is that we won, Germany lost. That's pretty much about it. That's all you need to know. Okay, that's how it went. Everything else is bullshit. And the idea that, America was a triumphing hero, it's like, yeah, we bombed civilians into the Stone Age. Wow, what a great country we are. And guess what we're doing now? We're going to bomb civilians into the Stone Age because that's what we've been doing for 50 years. It's like, the people that were fighting have figured that out, that your aircraft carriers and your planes, they don't care. You can bomb school buildings and you can bomb all this stuff, whatever you want to do. They're still going to launch paper airplanes at your aircraft carriers. And you're not going to stop them. You're not. Well, maybe America will figure it out. Who knows?
So like they never had internet. They had nothing else to fucking do. So yeah, they figured it out. It's not a big surprise.
Why do flat earthers not realize this? I suspect what's going on is that they don't have the faintest clue how modern science works. They might actually believe that drawing a rotating blob on a disk in Blender is the state of the art in physics. Yeah. So what are we to do?
8 inches per mile squared.
There'll always be people who distrust scientists, and that might not even
You have to remove these people from the voting pool somehow.
Here we go. I love this. This is my favorite. This is how I know he's DARPA and how he's CIA and controlled by the Democrats.
That's the real problem. Like, it was never really a big issue that people believe this stuff because they're like peasants that think that spirits exist in trees. But like nobody really gave a shit because it's like, oh, well, that's just, a peon. And so who cares? But now this person's voting and they're making decisions for other people and it's scary. So is the problem really that they're thinking this, or is the problem that they're voting? The problem, in my opinion, is that they're voting.
They're making decisions for other people. How are they doing that?
Can't solve people being stupid.
Oh,
that's the way I see it. You can't solve that. Like, people are going to be stupid no matter.
So people don't vote the way that you want them to vote. They are stupid.
No matter what. Middle school math test for voting? I feel like if you can't do middle school math, I don't want you to vote.
Okay, well, basically every black person is never going to be able to vote. Is that what you want? Because they can't do math. I mean, seriously, we're talking about like the most elitist shitbag. And, you know, this is a person who supposedly made all their money off basically streaming Warcraft, playing World of Warcraft. I don't know how you can make multi-millions of dollars streaming Warcraft, but apparently he did it. Even though he worked for the IRS and never went to college. Fishy is a little fishy. And now we're saying everybody is stupid. I am highly skeptical. Very highly skeptical of anything that this man has to say. Oh, I'm 35 years old without a gray hair on my head. Bullshit. Bullshit. I'm just a gamer who drinks Diet Coke Coke, and I put the Coke glass in front of my screen to make sure that everyone sees I'm drinking Coca-Cola. Come on, man.
Like, if you couldn't graduate high school or you don't have a GED, I don't want you to vote.
If you can't graduate high school and you don't get a GED, you don't want you to vote. Are they getting drafted? Is this dipshit getting drafted? No. He's exactly at 1 year where you can't be drafted anymore. 35 is the cutoff. Now he's all about, yeah, I don't know, fuck, put the stupid motherfuckers up there in the front line. I don't care. Nah.
Straight up. Like, I know that sounds elitist, and I want to say that that's completely the point. That is absolutely the point. Most people are, not most people, but some people are so stupid.
He's an elitist. And all of everything that he has, the way he presents himself, is a complete fantasy. This dude goes back to a mansion, probably has a maid that wipes his ass when he takes a shit every morning. And he pretends to be this dude. But he immediately is like, yeah, stupid people, they all need to be dead. Stupid people just need to be dead. Do you understand? I think he's probably smarter than me. But if I'm like 125, 130 IQ, somebody who is 110 to me is a retard. Okay? I don't really I can kind of sort of maybe get along with them a little bit. But like, it's hard. Now you're talking about it. Somebody who's 100 IQ, to me, they're retarded. Asmongold, if he's 150 IQ and I'm 130, I am retarded to him as a 130 IQ guy. So this guy basically is pissing on everybody on the planet because you're talking about a 0.05% that's like 150 IQ and the entire planet. I think like 10% is 130 or something, but like 0.05 would be a 150. I mean, Mensa is like 125 and up or something like that. But like, he's pissing on everybody, but he has 3.5 million subscribers. Now, I guarantee you his subscribers are not fucking 150 IQ. And yet he still has them, and everybody loves this guy. And it's like, no, it's the system who is completely financing him. They have bots, they got Israel, they got everything to feed his narcissist attitude and say, here's your script, Asmongold. Here's your script. This is what you got to say. And that's what he does.
That
no different with Donald Trump or anybody else.
Not even be responsible for themselves.
But
that's easy to graduate. Yeah, it's like if you can't graduate high school or something equivalent to that, 99% of the time, you are not the kind of person that should be making decisions for anybody else. That's it.
A bad thing, but I think it's a mistake to ignore flat earthers. And I do have some sympathy for them. I really do. They're trying to figure out how nature works.
Ignore flat earthers? I mean, like, just a viewpoint on the shape of the earth. The hell difference does it make to anything?
And that's a
no,
good...
they're not. They're not trying to figure out how nature works, because the thing is that if they're trying to, you have to understand, flat earth does not come from a place of learning. It comes from an oppositional perspective of the status quo and the establishment. Flat earthers don't care whether the earth is flat, fundamentally. The earth is flat is just simply a point of reference to explain that the government and the elites and science and society is a manufactured lie that's created to oppress them. That's what they really believe. And flat earth is just simple.
You know, I'll do a pretty good Asmongold here as a phony, fake CIA, FBI, Mossad, whatever operative. Maybe like, what you see in your face is not really what you see. I have to move my eyebrows up a little more. Can I get a more receding hairline? What you see is not really what you see. It's something that, you know, the schools, they teach you that it's real, and flat earth bad, and there are people who don't know science. Dude, I'm getting a workout on my fucking eyebrows. I don't know if you understand this, but that's a manipulation tactic, and it's taught, okay, where you fucking move your eyebrows like crazy all the fucking time. And he does this like nonstop. And it's retarded. Somebody has to pay you for it, because literally the amount of time that I did it, like 15 seconds, my muscles and my eyebrows are hurting from doing this. Okay. I'm doing eyebrow push-ups. Dude, my eyebrows are hurting. This dude's been doing it for 15 years. And people think that makes him more sincere or something like that. It's like, no. His CIA handler said, move your eyebrows more. You know, that's what he does. Then he gets his money.
A vehicle to express that belief. So even if you disproved flat earth to this person, this wouldn't actually change how they think. Because flat earth, it's like basically, it's a mining canary, right? It's a mining canary. It indicates something that's a lot worse deeper down. And you got to ask yourself, why is it that people have that much distrust? Why is it that people don't understand this shit? It's a huge web of conspiracy theories. Exactly.
Why is it that many people have distrust? Acknowledging the fact that people have distrust, and then saying that they don't believe in the science.
Well, yeah, it's a conspiracy theory, and the earth being flat and the science of the earth being flat, this is going to sound stupid, doesn't matter. What matters is that this is a global conspiracy that's being pushed worldwide, which indicates that there is a worldwide conspiracy to suppress knowledge from the public. That's the actual...
That'll never happen. There will never be a worldwide conspiracy to suppress knowledge from the public. That would never happen. Never. Especially when the United States runs the world. It could never happen. I mean, the idea, this thing is like all of these countries have their own shit going on, and then there's America. No, America runs the entire world. All of it. Oh, it's just totally stupid that there would be some kind of narrative. Be like, bitch, you're going to say the frickin' world is round or we're cutting off all your government funding. Why do you think that there's $200 million going to transvestite studies in frickin' Pakistan? Why do you think that is? Sir, why do you think that nobody else on the planet has been into space and gone to the moon before? Why do you think that? Even though Russia's got better technology, we hire Russia to send our rockets to space. Why do you think Russia's not been to the moon? Why do you think that? America is the only one because we're the super best. It was done at a fucking film studio. And the Russians know it. And the Americans, I guarantee you, are paying hundreds of millions of dollars to the Russians to just tell them to shut the fuck up. Don't talk about it. Don't tell us how we can't do it. Just don't. We're paying them off. It's a big mafia scam. Why isn't Brazil gone to the moon? Why isn't Iran? Iran has hypersonic missiles. We don't even have hypersonic missiles. They can't go to space? Or do they know that it's a waste of time and it's a bunch of bullshit? I think they probably know it's a waste of time and a bunch of bullshit.
That's the actual conversation. This is just bullshit. And it's always ended with some of the Jews did it? Absolutely. Yeah, and so that's the real reason. Why is Flat Earth so popular if it's bullshit? Simple. Because a lot of people don't trust established places of authority. That's the real reason. I bet that if you did a correlation between people who don't trust authority and people who believe in flat Earth, you would have nearly a perfect correlation.
You know what's funny is that actually all people who come to flat Earth were globe earthers as they were taught in school. They did their own research and then became flat earthers, which is more than any of these fucktards. I mean, all these, pretty much anybody who's on
because flat Earth is merely a symptom for the problem and not the disease.
Saying we should just encourage them to get better at it, and then maybe one day they'll figure out that it's actually much easier to explain their observations if they stop believing that the Earth is flat. Another reason I think we should take flat earthers seriously is that a lack of science education is more of a societal failure than a personal one. Luckily, there's an easy way to grow your scientific background knowledge, which is on brilliant.org.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think that you can do that. I think that the bottom 10 or 20% of people in terms of critical thinking intelligence will never be able to fully accept that the Earth is round because they're stupid. There are a lot of people that have...
I'm just going to bring it up that not even that long ago, about 70 years ago, every school taught that the Earth was flat. Just bringing it up.
Everybody has a different level cap for different things. Like, for example, my level cap for playing FPS is quite low. Other people's level cap for being intelligent is also quite low.
Again,
you're never going to teach a dog to do chess. It's not going to happen. Making it the goal that everybody understands and believes in science is a waste of time, and it will never happen.
Anyways. Asmon gets into... I'm kind of getting really tired, but Asmon gets into things where he talks about God and all that stuff, and obviously he's an atheist and thinks he's a monkey and all this stuff. And, fine. But it becomes very, 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 very clear when you listen to him talk about, like, video games and development processes. You can tell he's an incredibly smart person and knows exactly the direction the game should go and exactly how it should play and do this and that. And it's like, yeah, he's right. But as soon as he gets into some political topic, it's so fucking far off base. There's no logic in it. Like on a video game thing, he'll take a left side or right side, or it's not political, but I mean, we'll just say red, blue or something like that. And he'll look at the different sides and explain that we need this, we need that, and be very moderate. But all of a sudden, there's a political thing that comes out where he's like totally off the spectrum, like completely off the spectrum, where all of his critical thinking is gone. And like I said, you know, what he has to say about flat earth, I don't mind that anyone doesn't care about flat earth. They don't like, they say I'm a kook, or you know, you didn't believe it. I don't give a shit. Doesn't matter to me. But he said he could debunk flat earth in 2 seconds. And yet he's got a 30-minute video which he never debunked flat earth. No. That's all that is. This is just kind of a warning video to people out there about Asmongold. He is a DARPA, CIA, FBI, federal agent. And that's the only way that he can do what he does. He's admitted that literally the only thing that he tries to do is take money from other people without having to work. Okay? That was one of his last videos just a day or two ago. He literally said that. And he's a multimillionaire. So there you go. That's what you got with that. Hopefully, you know, maybe sometime I'll come back. I'm not, I'm kind of retired. Maybe someday I'll come back. All right. Oh, I'm way down in the corner. Cool. All right. Well, bye.